This is Daily Flash with Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Broadcasting worldwide and streaming. Daily Flash. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea Jackson.
And I am Mitch English, welcoming you to this show. It's called Daily Flash. We got
Yes.
today's talk, tomorrow's trends. How are you, Jackson?
I'm good, love. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Yes.
I feel bad because, yesterday I was talking about I was on vacation in Italy.
Yes.
And I actually...
Buongiorno.
The first, when I came back, I had a layover in Washington.
Yeah, I know what you're going to say.
And so when I get off and I go in there and I'm buying, I go, I want some American food. So I went to Chick-fil-A. And for 3 times, I go, after I go, grazie.
Grazie.
And I go, we're not in Italy anymore.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Yeah.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
Serve.
Buonatelli.
And anything you say goes up. What I feel bad about yesterday, I had brought you just some stuff we had talked about. But
Yeah.
James, I got you something from Italy as well. It was really hard. I looked
An
everywhere.
Italian woman is what he
likes.
likes.
If I could somehow bring home an Italian woman, I would have.
Aren't they
What I look
gorgeous?
for-
the
they
Italian people are gorgeous.
There were
Men
times
and women,
I
stunning.
was walking through like Rome, and Eliza's right next to me, and I go, these women are freaking
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's different over there, huh?
Yeah.
Their features are
Yeah,
just
all natural, no BBLs, huh?
No BBLs.
And I'll be quite honest, I'm not sure if the trend of wearing bras are as big over there as they are
No,
here.
not really.
It was not at all. Anyway, but that's besides the point. So anyway, so I looked everywhere for you, James. I wanted to get you some cigars. Because I
Okay.
know you smoke cigars
Yes, I do.
occasionally and everything. But, and I'll be honest with you, the only ones I could find are like in these big, $70 packages. And I'm like, well, and then I ended up buying
That ain't
everybody's
happening.
cigar. So I'm like, how can I do? I know he enjoys a cigar. So I brought you back an authentic Italian lighter.
Hey! Was it blessed by the Pope?
Awesome. Oh, my.
It has statues.
Oh! Oh, hello.
Hey, it's art.
It
It's
is.
art.
It's
It's
art.
art.
It's
It's
art.
artwork.
It's Roman art.
This.
But I
Not
did
safe
think
for
about
work.
you can ask Liza. I looked everywhere. I was trying to find, and here's the thing about they have I think they're called tabaccerias or something like that. I don't know how you say it in Italy, in Italian rather. But that's where you get your bus tickets is at the
yes,
tobacco
yes,
shops.
that's right.
That's something I didn't realize. And then coming up a little bit later, I'm going to tell you what happened because I didn't know that.
Did you, and was that the ticket for
you're-
Pompeii?
I did get a ticket.
Okay.
It looks pretty little,
I
though.
can't wait. You got
A fine.
A
ticket.
fine.
Not a ticket to ride a bus. A fine. But
Fine.
I'll tell you all
I
about it later
can't
on in
wait
the
to
show.
hear
'Cause we
that.
got a lot of stuff going on
Yes,
today, don't we?
we do. And Sweet Baby James is going to show you
You like that, James?
It's very little, so it's very
Can you imagine that
you can see it.
Can you
Italian
imagine
ladies.
you're like, all right, in Rome, by the way, in Rome, I mean, buildings are thousands of years old. Like, they make a statue of
Oh
you.
my gosh.
Yeah.
you know,
put the
and
little
anatomically correct.
Yes.
And that's how people remember you.
Yeah.
All the time. That lighter celebrates that.
short memories.
David, Michael, whatever, it's all about the naked sculpture.
Oh my gosh, you got me crying. All right.
I thought you'd appreciate that. But
Yes.
honestly, I did try to find cigars. Okay.
It's all great. Thank you so very much for my gifts. This is
Short
gonna be hilarious.
Short cigars.
I got you a short.
Oh my gosh.
Uncut, too.
Oh my gosh. All right, 219 stations.
James is
across-
blushing. You
Yes,
can't
you can't
tell
tell.
on your television
There's
screen.
so
that
many
he's-
jokes we could talk about right now.
Right?
All right, 219 stations across the country and across the globe on the American Forces Network. You can find out where we are by going to our website, dailyflashshow.com, and click on where to watch. And you can also comment, sound off on our question of the day.
Which is?
What makes someone unforgettable?
Oh, I like that.
Oh.
I think, you can do a broad stroke saying something that nobody else does by
Yeah.
To me, is a smell. Like if you wear I will remember you if you have especially my
good
favorite
one, yeah.
because that's a powerful smell.
Yeah.
As you think of that, but I think closer to what your question is, I would imagine it's somebody that will. Takes what no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. When you can feel that from somebody, that's like, well, this person actually cares about what I have to say. So that I guess.
Yeah, it's that presence and that attention that you get from somebody that makes you feel like you're the only person in the room.
Can I tell you to drop name, but when I did an interview with John Travolta.
Yep.
And have you ever interviewed him?
Tom Cruise is the same way. I know what you're going to say.
This.
Uh-oh. There you go. Face.
And
Word.
they know your name, and they repeat it,
Yes.
and they make you feel like the two of you have been friends for a
And there
lifetime.
was
that's
nobody
dope.
else in the room.
Yeah, I like
And,
that.
like one of these, James, where I'm talking to John.
Yeah.
he's like,
Yeah.
What
So
do you have to
he
say?
makes it seem like
And-
he's
and-
interested in what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a skill.
Yeah,
I want to
it
learn
is.
it. All right,
It
that's
is.
mine. You got one?
Well,
I took
you,
everything.
yes, you took it all.
I tried to be unforgettable.
I double down on that one.
Really?
Yeah.
For me, it's just intelligence. If I'm speaking to someone, I kind of gauge where they are. And
Yeah.
if they're super intelligent, then I can have a conversation with them. That makes them unforgettable to me.
Okay.
Do you assume that they that you're going to match them, or like do you say they're intelligent and so I'm going to learn something from them, or what they have to, you know what I'm saying? Like how does, just because of their diction,
yeah, I see what
their
you're saying.
syntax, that sort of
So
thing?
I try to see if they're gonna not match me. I want to see how elevated they are, because you never want to be the smartest person in the room.
Yeah.
So I want them to be a
Well,
little
I
bit
got that
smarter,
licked.
right? So maybe so you know, I want them to be a little bit smarter so I can learn something if there's an opportunity to do so. You know.
You mentioned that, and that made me think of something. When you find out somebody has been generous in a donation way or in a helpful way, but they don't bring it on themselves. They do
Right.
it quietly and respectfully. When I hear about somebody, and David Letterman comes to mind,
You and David Letterman.
when they do that, it makes someone unforgettable to me,
Yeah.
because they're not doing it because they want the press and the headlines. They're doing it really because they want to do it.
I think James told me the Little Caesars guy with
Yeah,
Rosa
Little
Parks.
Caesars guy. Prince was a big.
Really?
Yeah, Cat
Really?
Williams. Yeah, Prince did so much. No one knows.
No
He's paid for a
way.
lot of people. And you know who else is big on it? Denzel Washington, Sammy J too. Denzel Washington is responsible for the young man who played Black Panther.
Really?
Yeah, he paid for his scholarship. He paid for him to go to school.
Gosh.
We know what's in his wallet. now.
Yeah.
I like
He
Samuel
sure
Jackson.
did.
Yeah,
I
Denzel-
love Samuel
yeah,
Jackson.
Denzel did it.
There's a movie that Jimmy Stewart stars in, and it's from ages ago, but I think it's called Harry, and he imagines a rabbit as his best
Yep.
friend.
Yeah.
And there's a line in that movie where he says, look, if people ask me, would you rather be smart or would you rather be pleasant? I'll take pleasant every day of the week, because when you try and be smart, you're almost trying to one up somebody. In general, I mean, I'm generalizing that
Right,
phrase,
right.
but it is something to be said. Like, if you're trying to outsmart people, not the intelligence that you talked about, but being, trying to outsmart, but being pleasant is much more commendable and makes life easier for
Makes
you.
you, well, I think it goes off of feeling. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
I like the energy this person's giving for unpleasant. And then smart
Yeah.
people, I feel like sometimes, I'll be honest, I feel like they're judging you sometimes. And
yes.
it's not their fault.
Right.
It's just that because, obviously it comes back on me because I'm judging them when I'm saying they're judging me because their intelligence level.
Yeah.
But I think in general, like in life, if you're trying to be pleasant versus
love
smart, I think that does say a lot about you as a person, because you could take the difficult road, which is maybe to be smart about something, right?
Yeah.
And to try and convince everybody in the room you know best. But sometimes being pleasant is the easier road to take and actually works better for you.
And I'm glad you said that, because in social media, we want to, like, what do you think you're going to do? Change everybody's viewpoint because you're going to do something outrageous and that might offend other people? It's like, I would respect more, kind of like going back to doing something quietly and do what, I judge you what you do, not what you say.
Yes.
Right.
And,
Right.
on social media, it makes it easier just to say stuff blindly, because then you're thinking, well, these people think I stand for something.
But the problem with that is, like, you're challenged to say the most outrageous
Yes.
things to get clicks, to get attention, and it's not right.
And I'm guilty of that. I mean, I've done it before.
I call them keyboard gangsters.
Keyboard gangsters,
Yeah,
there
they
you
do
go.
everything online, but in real
life.
life, they will never say or do anything like that.
And I've also heard that about The View. The
Oh,
women on The
keyboard
View.
gangsters,
Like,
yeah.
they put on this huge show about, and I don't know if that's true or not, but they put on this huge facade in front of the cameras when they do the show. But when the cameras turn off, they end up actually being halfway decent humans to their guests.
Well, I always say people are not conservative in front of cameras or in real life, but behind closed door, they are super conservative.
That's a good point.
Yes, it goes both ways. All right, we have got a lot of stuff coming up on the show.
Yes.
The summer of staycations coming up, and we're also going to be talking to Mr. Supernatural Puerto Rico 2026. But right now, it's time for our Brain Flash question of the day.
What is the smallest country in the world? We're going to have that answer for you. The big answer
The big
coming
answer.
up when the Daily Flash returns right after this.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to Daily Flash. Before we went to break, we asked the question in our Brain Flash question. What is the smallest country in the world? You're looking all over the map. You'd have a hard time finding it. It's actually Vatican City, right there in Rome. And no passport needed. It's actually easy to get into. Welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Mitch English. Let's talk college sports. You know, it's changed forever. Between NIL deals, revenue sharing, and a proposed 5-for-5 eligibility rule, parents of future college athletes now face a completely brand new world. Coach John Lind, he is with Thrive Football Training. He's joining us and having some of the answers to some of these questions out there. Let's talk to the parents. John, thanks for joining us, for being on the show. For parents, how was the recruiting process changed the most dramatically?
The biggest thing that's changed is the bigger schools are not going to take a chance on a kid that's marginal, like a project
Okay.
type kid. 10 years ago, guys that could play at UCF, they're not going to be playing at UCF now. Any Big 12 schools, Florida, et cetera. They're going to go to a smaller school. You got an 18, 19-year-old athlete playing against a 22, 23, even a 24-year-old. So you got a young man playing against a grown man who's had 2 or 3 years of experience. So what's happening is these big schools are not grabbing those marginal kids. They're only grabbing about 10% from high school. So the biggest advantage is the JUCOs are getting some kids. The Division II schools, the Division III schools are getting some kids that they would not get in the past.
Okay.
Because the big schools want tape. They want game tape. They want to see what you've got. They want experience, a year, 2, 3 years. Now they're going to offer you money. That's what's happening now.
Well, let's talk about that money. What should a parent actually ask about when it comes to NIL money before their kid commits to the school?
Well, first of all, do you like my kid or do you love my kid?
Okay.
So, okay. All right. If you love my kid, show me the money.
Okay. That
That's
makes
the
complete
bottom
sense.
line.
Yeah.
Yeah, show me the money. Show me the money. Archie Manning came out of high school. He made $18 million. He didn't take one snap. So
Yeah, he came with a name as well, right? I mean, that
right.
happens.
The money, UCF, we grabbed a quarterback in the portal. We paid him $1 million. He spent spring in the training room.
Yeah.
So it's hit or a miss. But the kids are not going to be getting the big money until down the road. Very rarely are they going to get the money right out of high school,
Okay.
unless they're coming from like a IMG school like that. Some of the schools out west, some of the private schools in Texas or Georgia.
And I think that's going to change Saturday. Some people will say Saturday games, I'm turning on ESPN or whatever. I mean, we're going to see better games because you have better athletes and that sort of thing. But these JUCOs are actually, I would hope that they would start to get to see a little bit more television because that's what's going to build them up. I want to move on to the 5-for-5 rule. This proposed 5-for-5 rule means older, stronger athletes stay a little bit longer. How does that actually hurt the freshmen, though?
Well, the freshmen are already behind the 8 ball.
Yeah.
You got a 17, I've got 2 kids that are 17 that we train that just turned 18 and they're freshmen in college. Some of those guys can be 23, 24, 25. I mean, they're grown men. You look at Brigham Young, some of those guys are married with kids, and some of them are 27, 28. So it's a lot of experience there versus a high school kid.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, and it's a different world. It's not the same college football that we were used to. Thanks, John, so much for joining us. We're going to post this interview. It's on our website at dailyflashshow.com/FMI. Stick around with more Daily Flash and great stuff to talk about.
Well, rumor has it Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift could be dropping $3 million to rent out Madison Square Garden for their 3-day wedding bash. Now, some claim this is all a ruse and the MSG wedding venue story was a gossip bomb dropped to find out who's leaking information from their camp. The rental fees would be around $1 million per day for setup, the ceremony, and the teardown. The couple would pay full retail price with no celebrity discount for the iconic arena. The space would provide privacy, and cover for 1,000 guests, including A-listers like Selena Gomez and Ed Sheeran. Luxury planners estimate the entire event could cost between $10 and $20 million or more, making it one of the most expensive celebrity weddings ever.
Well, where'd you get married? Madison Square Garden?
I don't buy it.
I don't buy it whatsoever.
Yeah.
Lainey Wilson, who a country star, she wound up, there was some, because she's huge right now in country music, and she just got married, and where were they going to get married? There's a lot of NDAs. She did a very small ceremony. I think that's what's going to happen here. Why would you rent out such a big place if you're trying to keep secrecy?
When you want privacy.
And privacy as well, right.
Yeah,
privacy
reminds me of the South Park episode, Privacy Please. We're on the Privacy Please World Tour.
Exactly.
But I think Rhode Island, I think that's where they're getting married.
And probably a smaller. Yeah, I mean, that's what you would want. Why would you want something so big? I agree with you on that. David Beckham, he got his Hollywood Walk of Fame star, but his estranged son, Brooklyn, snubbed the event.
Come on.
It's a sign that the family feud continues on. David Beckham recently received his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. His estranged son, Brooklyn, who was only 20 minutes away in Beverly Hills, he was a no-show. Wife Victoria and pal Tom Cruise, they were at the ceremony, but it was the family rift that made the headlines. Brooklyn hasn't seen his parents in over a year and publicly ranted about them in January on social media. So, whenever you're a star, your dirt gets out, and it's unfortunate that that kind of overshadowed what he did, but that life continues on, I guess.
I love David Beckham. I watched a couple documentaries, and he's a really fascinating guy. Talk about coming from nothing and becoming, this incredible global soccer superstar, football.
And coming here to America, where, in Europe, that's such a big, soccer is everything.
Huge,
and to make his name here in our country is just as big.
I think his son will end up regretting this moment in his life.
That's a big day.
But everybody has those family moments, so hopefully they'll get through it.
All right, we want you to stick around and be here. All right, we don't want to be estranged from y'all. All right? We got more Flash coming up around the corner. Stick around. We love having you along for the ride.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. Our next guest is proving that men can have their pageants too. Please welcome, all the way from Barcelona, Spain, Mr. Supranational, Puerto Rico, 2026, Lazaro Urtili. Hi, Lazaro.
Hi, Lazaro.
Hello,
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Lazaro, first off, congratulations.
Yes.
You're representing Puerto Rico. First off, tell us, what is Mr. Supranational all about?
Well, I think Supranational pretty much is a pageantry where you want to showcase your full potential and also what is the ideal man, right? So for my definition, when I think of an ideal man, I think of James Bond. So that is kind of my man who I want to become, right? So that's the idea.
I love it. So who can try out for Mr. Supranational?
So anyone can try out. Of course, there's castings involved, there's trials involved as well. But honestly, depending on where you're from, your culture, your identity, whatever you want to be, like if you want to participate in these pageantries, you're more than welcome to join in.
All right, so you're saying anybody can, including me. I could try out if I wanted to?
Of course.
You might have some competition. Be careful, Lazaro. I'm just saying. No, it's pretty.
All right.
All right, so tell us, kind of walk us through what happens during the whole event, and what are the judges looking for?
So this is actually quite of an interesting topic to talk about because this is completely new for me as well, right? So I started this journey without really knowing much of the world of pageantry. So what comes involved with it is classes where you have to learn how to speak well, you have to be diplomatic, you have to know how to catwalk, but it's not the same catwalk as in fashion. You have to be a mister, you have to be more charismatic when you walk. The way you speak and try to conduct the whole room, it's also super important. also learning some fundamental words when it comes to speech. And, you know, pretty much is a world where you want to make sure that you can become a leader, which is super important.
Very nice.
So we hear that you also make time for your passion of music. How do you focus on music with this new title?
Well, to be fair, I'm kind of a multi-hyphen kind of person. I have different worlds in one. So I have my music, I have my soccer, football, I have my event planning, all that kind of stuff. And, you know, at the end of the day, when you love something, it doesn't feel like a trial. It more feels like something that just comes within and it's a bonus. So for me, I'm quite easy, flexible when it comes to managing both parties. So I'm very thankful for that.
Now, when you do this, is there a talent competition? And you gotta have to tell us. I'm thinking like this is a beauty pageant that we're used to. Is that kind of what it is? But it's for men, or is, you know, explain what the program is all about.
So the program revolves, of course, you have to make sure you look good. You're gonna have to bring out your suits. You're gonna have to bring out your fashion statements. Of course, it's gonna be a talking competition where you're able to show and demonstrate that you're able to conduct, you know, a question and answering as well. But also what's very important, at least for what I've seen this year, is that there's also a talent show. And of course, I want to use that to my advantage to be able to sing a song that has not come out yet. So spoilers, there's going to be a new song at the Super National that's coming up.
Okay, so Lazaro, what's the end game here? Do you get a contract? Do you get a TV role? Do you get a movie deal?
Yeah.
What is the end result for all of this?
So the end result first is going to have there's going to be some money involved coming. I'm not going to say how much, but also the idea is what comes after when it comes to promotion, branding, and different companies trying to contact you. At least my goal is to try to open more doors when it comes to music. And yeah, honestly, I can't wait for that to happen. I'm super excited.
It's about exposure and kind of showing that you're well-rounded, and I could totally get that. You're following in the footsteps of Anthony Delgado, who represented Puerto Rico and won Mr. Supranational Caribbean. What sort of advice did he offer you? And then what advice would you offer for men out watching right now?
Honestly, I think we kind of forget the fact that, and this is what he told me, that it is super important to relax and be yourself. I know it sounds stereotypical, but there's so much truth to that statement, because a lot of people, they try to give you all these classes, give you how to act, but at the end of the day, you're also kind of losing your touch or your essence. And you don't want that. You want to make sure that you are yourself, that you're able to shine and to show your idiosyncrasies. So it is super important to stay true to yourself. And that's what he has given me as an advice. And I really appreciate that. And also for the others, I would say the same thing.
It's good advice to pass along.
Just a few seconds left here, Lazaro. How important is social media in all of this for you?
Social media is super important because obviously it's where you can demonstrate who you are. If people don't know, you need to find a way for them to show who you are, what you do. It's super important that social media is part of your whole engagement section, because at the end of the day, that's how people are going to get to know you, and it's how people are going to see what you're showcasing. So,
very good.
Awesome. Lazaro, thank you.
Thank you so much. Wish you the best in the competition. More details
Thank you so much.
at our website.
Thank you for having me.
Good luck with you, man.
This is Daily Flash with Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Broadcasting worldwide and streaming. Daily Flash. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mitch English.
I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash. Today's trends, tomorrow's talk. Before we do anything, let's check in with James Alexander for our stations.
Hey, those 219 stations you're watching us on, you can find out if you're looking for Daily Flash. Go to our website, dailyflashshow.com, and click on where to watch to find out where we are in your neck of the woods. And of course, you can watch us globally on the American Forces Network. Now, our local friends today come from Panama City, Florida, EMBB TV. Panama City is known as the wreck capital of the South because its waters are home to over 300 shipwrecks.
Really?
300.
In Panama City, yeah.
Panama
And not
City.
even around spring break.
I thought you might have meant car accidents because when my sister was visiting
Wow.
last year, she ended up getting into
Really?
a car
In Panama
accident in
City?
Panama City.
Was it
Yeah.
the spring break?
It was about this time last year, so maybe it was post spring break. Wasn't her fault, by the way.
Oh, well, insurance companies don't care
Yeah,
anymore.
I know.
Now, if you know, I had done weather at WMBB there, our affiliate there, for about a month. So I know a lot that area really, really well. Great team down there and up there, other shit I say. But
Yeah.
Panama
All
City's
right.
awesome.
Yeah, I want to go party. I want to go and see the sights.
I think Dolly Parton is opening up a place there.
Really?
Kind of like a an family entertainment thing, which is they're trying to get away from it being like a spring break deal.
Yeah.
You know, and Club La Villa, if you remember MTV, that's where
Yeah.
they did it. That's where I saw Aerosmith. And can I tell you
Really?
a
In
quick story about
Panama?
it? So Aerosmith was there during spring break.
Yeah.
I was working for a local TV station, and I looked up, and all of a sudden I was behind the Red Velvets. Somehow they had kind of put me in, and I'm like, well, I'm not moving.
Yeah.
And I'm with my camera guy, and here comes Joe Perry and Steven
No
Tyler walking out, and
way.
I go, if I just let them walk by, there was nobody around. I'm telling you, walking through. So I talked, and I went up there and talked to him, and I got a really quick interview. It was a walk and talk.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like, and afterwards, like, what are you guys doing here? I go, you wrote me in. I didn't go in. Panama City's a great place.
doing my
Most
job.
beautiful beaches in
That's what
Florida.
WMBB stands for, World's Most Beautiful Beaches.
Is it really?
Really?
No way.
WMBB, World's Most Beautiful Beaches, which
Yeah.
is indeed the case. So very, very
awesome.
cool there.
All right, there you
All
go.
right, Panama
Jason.
City, we love you there. I obviously, yesterday I was talking about my vacation, but sometimes
Yeah.
I think now that I got the Italian one out of the way, just doing a staycation at home,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
is sometimes it's so much easier and better
It
and
is.
more relaxing at times. And also less stressful. I wanted to tell you all this because I didn't mention I got to do gondolier lessons.
I love this.
When I was in Venice, right? See, and that's what you think, right? Do that. No, that's when you think. But every time you see a gondolier, he's standing up. He's got the Hamburglar shirt on. with the hat and
Did he sing? I forgot to say, did he sing too?
we met this group that what they do is for women that are gondoliers. There's not a lot of women that are gondoliers, and so there's an organization that helps them. And so when they give you lessons, it helps out this organization. So my wife had set this up to take gondolier lessons, and the key is we as canoers here, we want to dig, and then my son Enzo is in crew, which is
Yeah.
all about strength.
Rowing.
And so and almost like Americans, were very aggressive.
Yeah.
And so having one woman who was very, very, very Italian, and the other woman was from Britain, from England rather, and she spoke both languages.
Yeah.
So the Italian was like talking Italian that they do, which is kind of feels like an aggressive.
you
thing.
gotta move when
So
you do it.
Enzo, who takes crew, he's trying to take lessons, and the whole time. She goes up there, talking Italian, and then ballerina. And I'm like, I'm saying ballerina, and kept on saying ballerina. Finally, Enzo just has enough of it. 14-year-old just, I'm tired, I'm done, I don't know what a ballerina is. Thinking that she was calling, but what he was saying is the stance.
Stance, right.
So like a stance of a ballerina is 1 foot
Yeah,
out.
first or second position.
Right.
Yeah.
And then also, something that you need to learn in life,
Yeah.
you actually can go further just by nice, slow moves.
Yeah.
And that's all a gondolier is. It's just,
Nice little move.
and
Yeah,
then,
you totally have to move.
it's just that's all you got to do. And then you can sing a song. SpaghettiOs, beefaroni. I love that
Oh
place.
my
Venice
gosh.
was amazing.
Grazie.
Grazie.
Stay with us. We're back right after this.
Buongiorno. Hey everybody, welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Mitch English along with Andrea Jackson.
Yeah, it is time to help your home. Let's get started with the DIY trends we're seeing for 2026. DIY home projects are on the rise this year, from painted shelves and spa bathrooms to reading nooks and upcycled kitchen tables. Homeowners are embracing the calm, budget-friendly transformations. As Pantone names Cloud Dancer its 2026 color of the year, homeowners are turning to easy DIY projects for serene, restorative spaces. Top trends include painted shelving for bold accents, upcycled tables are the new kitchen islands, decorative hardware is an easy way to update any kitchen or bath, and DIY spa bathrooms are transformed with new paint and textured tiles. Other trends include dark wood furniture and climate resilient gardens.
Okay.
These affordable updates focus on calm with a dash of personality without major renovations.
I love upcycling, and those tables
Yeah.
are really, really cool too. Well, HGTV is sharing 50 easy, low-cost DIY home improvement projects you can complete in a weekend for under $75. Highlights include painting your front door for curb appeal, adding magnetic carriage-style hardware to garage doors.
I like this one. I
It's
was
smart,
surprised.
right?
Yeah.
You can try hanging string lights for outdoor spaces or create glass cabinet inserts. Looking to fix up a small corner? Well, try peel and stick wallpaper. If painting is maybe more of your jam, you can paint ceramic or try whitewashing a brick fireplace. We've done that. Looks really nice.
Yeah.
These projects focus on big impact, minimal time, and money for an instant home transformation.
Well, if you've been thinking about adding built-ins to a favorite area of your home, you know the prices can range from $5 to $25,000. They are expensive. One DIY expert has come up with an IKEA hack that could save you thousands. This 30-second reel from Ravenwood Restored shows an impressive IKEA hack turning classic basic cabinets into custom-looking office built-ins. They demonstrate the DIY process, materials, and stunning before and after transformations that make it look like high-end built-ins. The creator asks, was it worth it? And the answer is a resounding yes for the professional result at a fraction of the cost.
You also have to put in the fact that you did it and you made a
Yes.
change, and I think that adds a lot to the way you feel. And for one, however much money you want, because I mean, you're the one who made the difference and made the change.
Yeah, and she said she was quoted 15 grand and it ended up costing her $3,000 to do the job herself.
And there's got to be a great feeling to get out of
Yeah.
that. Hey, I did it myself. Sustainable interior design in 2026 is evolving with a focus on eco-friendly materials and mindful approach to consumption. We got a few trends here that can actually encourage a deeper connection between your home, your community, as well as the environment. How about bringing the outside in? Elements like sun-drenched window seats, living green walls, and indoor gardens are a great way to update a space. The emphasis is on natural light and organic shapes. Think about like curved sofas and soft surfaces to create a calm environment. And also, shop local. This year, there's a heightened appreciation for goods that support community and showcase traditional craft techniques. Think about a reclaimed wood table, told you I love those, from a nearby maker, or ceramics from a local potter. It's an easy way to invest in local craftsmanship while adding a personality to your home and add a quiet zone to your
yeah,
home.
there you go.
Another new design in 2026 is creating a space just for rest, reflection, as well as wellness. It might be a reading nook, a spa-like bathroom, or a multi-purpose area that easily transitions into work to family relaxation. Cozy personal corners, a key part of the broader wellness movement as well. And keep in mind too, when you have something local, like somebody comes by and they see it and they go, oh, this is great. You know, this came from just right down the street. And it also, in this disposable society that we have,
Yes.
it adds to it and kind of gives it that personality that we were mentioning.
Well, and I think you can appreciate the craft and the technique and the time that somebody spends in putting something like that together and creating it.
Wholeheartedly agree. We appreciate having you around.
Yes.
We have more of today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
Stay with us. Daily Flash returns right after this.
For generations, mankind has depended on one sacred device, the home television. A portal to laughter, heartbreak, and that one weird British baking show you swore you'd only watch once. But after 5 long days of labor, housework, and endless carpool lines, one question still haunts humanity. What do you binge this weekend?
Fear not, the experts are here. Join Daily Flash every Friday for Streaming for the Weekend, because life's too short for bad TV.
Streaming for the weekend every Friday, only on Daily Flash.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. For millions of Americans, every day is a balancing act, managing careers, raising kids, caring for aging parents. This month, one company wants to celebrate the joy found in that journey. Here's the story.
Comfort Keepers, a leading provider of in-home care for seniors and adults in need of assistance, is celebrating their 8th annual National Day of Joy this month. It takes place each year on the last Wednesday of June and was established to encourage and inspire individuals to find joy in the everyday moments.
The theme this year is joy between generations, which I think is fantastic because we are definitely a multi-generational society. We found that finding joy is important for maintaining physical and mental health, as well as improving overall well-being. We established the National Day of Joy 8 years ago as a holiday to deliver joy, positivity, and elevate the human spirit.
This year, National Day of Joy comes with new research, a survey of 2,000 Americans in what's known as the sandwich generation, adults who are simultaneously raising children and caring for aging parents. 96% say family is the most important thing in their lives.
There is something so beautiful about having grandparents and grandchildren come together. What we see is that grandparents start to feel a better sense of relevancy and interaction with their grandkids. And that's why it is so important to celebrate things like the National Day of Joy that Comfort Keepers has created. Because for the sandwich generation, there are beautiful, wonderful memories to be developed with both our children as well as our older parents.
The survey set out to explore not just the struggles of caregiving, but the joy that comes with it as well. 92% say it brings both joy and emotional strain, yet 73% wouldn't choose to take on less responsibility.
Joy is found in not huge grand gestures, but sometimes the everyday moments, such as a shared meal, a conversation, listening to music together, things that bring the generations closer together and help create new lasting memories.
69%, though, say they need more support when caring for an aging parent, and 85% agree that greater access to in-home care would make a meaningful, positive difference.
One of the great things about bringing in a home care professional like Comfort Keepers is that certainly it's going to help us take care of our older loved one, but at the same time, we also get some help as well, which is just as crucial. So really two lives are benefiting from having that extra support, that extra help. It really gives us more of those precious moments while also helping us with taking care of ourselves.
For more information or to participate in the National Day of Joy, they encourage you to visit comfortkeepers.com/Day of Joy and share your Day of Joy activity on social media using hashtag National Day of Joy.
All right, very interesting. Let's move on to some trending news stories out there. It looks like Elon Musk, whatever you think about him, he probably doesn't care because he's now the world's first trillionaire after shares for his SpaceX rocket company soared during the biggest ever stock market debut. The Tesla and SpaceX founder comfortably cemented his status as the world's richest man with his total net worth standing between $1.11 trillion. Now, Musk's 42% ownership stake in SpaceX gives him essentially unilateral control over everything he does. He can also spend that money investing however he likes as well. My understanding too is AI company made some centimillionaires, I think, as well. So he wasn't the only one that made a whole lot of money.
Yeah, I love his story. He is our generation's Einstein, really.
Yeah,
I mean, when you think
right.
about it, he's a rocket scientist. He's created these incredible Tesla cars. I mean, he's doing so much, and trying to advance man into other planets and going to Mars, whatever. Like you said, whatever you think of him, you have to respect the fact that he is an absolute genius. But what I also love about him is there was one employee that has been with him since the very beginning. Did you hear about this guy?
No, tell me.
A welder, blue-collar worker. He has been with him the entire time. And after that day, he became a millionaire. And so it's, and the people that work with him are loyal to him. And obviously he wants to give back. So there is something to be said about loyalty in a company.
All right. So I see, and I do. I'm with same sentiments. I like the guy. I fear if I was ever a trillionaire, which I never have fear of doing that, but I don't think you'd want to be around me because I would not care about anything, right? They were talking about how much you would have to tip a person $1 million a day for 2,000 years in order to go through
to spend your money.
That wealth. And I don't think he necessarily does it. He wants to make a change, wants to make his mark. And I wish we would take some of that outside of whatever you might think of a political, the noise. And just go, you know what? That's what we need to do is make a mark in a good way.
Yes.
Not like, hey, I want to be the first person that, throws paint on the Statue of Liberty or that kind of crap.
That's the thing. It's like, it seems to me like he is somebody to be inspired by what he's been able to do. Like, why not take a lesson and why not take inspiration from what he's been able to create?
Because it's easier not to. And to keep yourself down thinking that, thinking differently or helping other people or doing one of the things is too hard to do. So attack that person person because they're doing it and they're successful at it. It makes it easier us as humans. That's what I think.
I think to that point, Mitch, there's a good way to look at it. Is in some of his biggest critics, you know, they don't like success and they don't like other people to be successful because that means that they don't have control over that section of people. So it's easier to put somebody like Elon Musk down to discourage other people from wanting to be successful, from discouraging other people to become trillionaires themselves. Because that's the beauty of this country. You could be anything you want, at least for now anyway. Yeah.
And make sure you just have the right attitude and help and continue to help others.
A Wisconsin driver moved a road closed barrier and continued on their way. This person definitely is not an Elon Musk character, only to get their pickup stuck in freshly poured concrete. The Wisconsin Department of Transportation said on social media that the Milwaukee driver cemented their inability to adhere to the road signs by moving the barrier to the side and driving right into the wet concrete. Video from the scene shows police and road crews using heavy machinery to try and pull the truck from the concrete. What a mess!
You know, and lesson learned, I'm sure. And that's probably, hopefully they get the concrete out and spray it up because once it dries up, that is not going to be good news. And now I'm sure he's going to get fined. It has to cost even that much more to fix and repair.
I can't imagine how much. Well, not to mention, how do you explain that to your insurance company? I moved barriers and I drove right into a freshly poured concrete road.
We are not done yet. More of today's trends, tomorrow's talk coming up. Hey, let's find out what you need to binge watch this weekend. Jackson, what do you got for us, Bubba?
I love this show. It's one of my favorites. My pick for the weekend is Widow's Bay.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
On Apple TV.
Yes.
I'm Tom Loftus.
Oh,
or Tom.
Nice to meet you, Arthur.
You want to grab some coffee?
No, I'm good. Jerry was just taking me through some of your history.
Oh, that's great. Yes, well, remarkable story.
I was talking to the guy on the ferry, and he said something odd.
What was that?
He said bad things happen here.
I can't tell you. I love this show so much. It is so beautifully written. It's smart. It's funny. It's horrific. It's just the perfect combination. I've never seen anything like it.
I was going to say that. You know, in a world where all the shows, you know, are very typical and formulaic, this is nothing like that at all. And it's funny and it's scary.
Yes.
And and the characters are so well written.
Genius.
For it. Yeah. If you're not seeing this, you are missing out. It's a fun show.
It's subtle humor too.
Very subtle. Yeah. That's the thing I appreciate as well. Check it out. It is on Apple TV.
Yes.
This is when I go, get the subscription and watch this. Don't wait for it. It's awesome. Well, it looks like Nick Cage swings into Prime Video's Spider Noir. The cool part, you can actually watch it in classic black or white or true hue full color.
Love that.
Your choice. Here's the noir version.
Monsters on the loose.
All you can do is fight to keep the chaos from your door.
I came here to offer him a job. My friend disappeared.
You haven't given us much to go.
What can I say? The world's a dangerous place. But I think you're braver than you let on.
All right, I was telling Jackson, it's a little bit of a slow start.
Yeah.
I prefer it in the noir black and white. I think but you can switch back and forth with it. And everybody says Nicolas Cage overacts sometimes, right? That's his thing.
But that's for this genre.
Yes.
It's perfect.
That's why it was perfect for it. Go and watch it. It's on Prime. It's basically set in the 1930s. It is Spider-Man before, they don't call him Spider-Man.
Before Spider-Man was Spider-Man.
Right?
Yeah.
So think about that. That's it for our show. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you.
Yeah, be good, everybody.
Be safe this weekend.